all the movie news outlets were running the story that the Batman has been officially announced with a, not including credits, 2 hours and 47-minute runtime. So with 8 minutes of credits, it's like 2 hours and 55 minutes or whatever. So just under 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours.
And that got me thinking, because a lot of people were talking, either people were saying, yes, 3 hours, give me all the hours, or people were saying, oh no, sounds bloated or whatever.
Right.
So my question is for you, Evan.
Okay.
Are long movies bad?
Well, in my opinion, I think it's very, very dependent upon the movie. I think it's extremely easy for a movie to lag and lull and drag. That can happen. But a movie being long tells me one thing that makes me hopeful.
Yeah.
Is that somewhere along the way they decided, we can fit all of this into one film. We're not going to break this up into multiple movies.
Yeah.
So it tells me I think you're getting the most bang for your buck potentially. But some of my favorite movies of all time, we got sirens going by.
Got some sirens.
Some of my favorite movies of all time are 2.5, almost 3 hours long.
Yeah.
But those are great movies. Some movies are just way too long. Yeah. Sometimes a movie that's an hour and 20 minutes feels like it's 4 hours long because of how it's paced.
Exactly.
Like a good example, The Last Duel is paced really well.
And that's a 2.5.
It's 2.5.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel the 2.5. It didn't feel like it was 2.5 hours to me.
Yeah.
So in that case, think that that's a great use of time whenever you can pace the movie that well. I think it all depends on how it's paced. From seeing the trailer and seeing what's going on in the movie, it makes me excited to see that it's that long.
Yeah. Because
I feel like it's going to dive properly deep into the themes and the characters in the movie. So that makes me excited for that. If I heard that the new Lizzie McGuire movie was 3 hours long, I'd be like, I don't know if there's enough material there.
I'd be like, you couldn't squeeze another hour out of that?
So I think
it's just what dreams are made of.
Oh my God. I just think it's majorly dependent on, the themes and the characters, because I think from everything I've seen and everything I know the characters have enough to dig for 3 hours,
Yeah. I mean,
you can mine that well for at least 2.5 hours,
I think you're spot on. And anyone who has like a, positive or negative reaction just from hearing a runtime, like I feel like is missing the point, because a runtime doesn't really tell you anything about quality. It tells you how long you're going to have to hold your pee.
Yeah, sure.
But like, again, like you said, there are movies that are under 2 hours that I felt like were 15 minutes too long. And there are movies that were 2.5 that I couldn't even tell you were 2.5.
Yeah.
But then there's also this weird mix of like, there are movies that are like 3 hours plus, where like I definitely felt the runtime, but still loved it.
Yeah.
Which is a weird, how does that work? But it's all about storytelling and pacing. Yeah. And if you are telling a story that is constantly raising the stakes or pushing new ground in the story and testing the characters and revealing things at a consistent clip, then your story isn't going to feel long, because it's all about structure. Structure is the key to everything.
Yeah.
And so you can have an 1.5 hour movie that's poorly structured and it feels like a slog. And the way I like to think about it is this. People say like, oh, I wish all movies were 2 hours or less. The insinuation being that 2 hours is a short time. No, it's all relative. 2 hours is not a short amount of time.
No.
It's dependent. If I told you, hey, I'm going to show you your favorite, comic book character, whoever that is, in a 2 hour movie, you'd be like, great. Like, I can do that. 2 hours is going to fly by. I love this character. But then if I said, hey, I'm going to put you in an empty theater and nothing's going to show on the screen for 2 hours, you're going to tell me that 2 hours was the longest 2 hours of your life.
Yeah.
It's all about structure and pacing.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours isn't long or short.
Yeah.
It's neither.
Yeah. I 100% agree. And I think it depends on who you are a little bit.
Yeah.
Because for me, I love movies and I love a good story. And if I'm into the story, I don't care how long it is.
Yeah.
If it's good and it's taking me along and like I'm bought in, and I just don't really care if it's 3 hours, if it's 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like if it serves the story, then it was just the right length of time. If it serves the story. So if that means it needs to be 3.5 hours, then it needs to be 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
But you know, there are of course examples of gratuitous use of time where it's like, there's just too much in this, you know, trim the fat. It needs to go.
Yeah.
But I think that some of the best movies are over 2 hours. And it's because sometimes whenever you're approaching subject matter that is complicated, it takes a while to unpack and dig into that. And especially tell that story with dialogue and tell that story thoughtfully with visuals at the same time. And, you know, these things sometimes take time. And I don't mind. I've gotten to the point now where I don't mind at all. A 2.5 hour movie does not scare me one bit.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I'm in. I'm of the crowd. I get excited when I hear a long runtime for a movie that I'm excited to come out, because that tells me that the director got to put a lot of his favorite stuff in.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Now, what I'm about to say, this isn't a anti 2 hour movie.
Oh, here we
thing.
go.
I'm just saying, like, the idea that movies should be around 2 hours isn't because, like, oh, over the last, you know, century of filmmaking, we've realized that's the best runtime.
Right.
Like, I think there is something to be said that, like, that is a good median of a runtime, like, just from a biological standpoint. Like, I think there is something to that, but on a larger scale, historically, one of the reasons 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours became the standard was because back in the day, there weren't as many like movie theaters. And not only were there not as many movie theaters, most of the movie theaters were like a 1 to 2 screen movie theater. Yeah. So if you had shorter movie runtimes, you know, if your movie was 2 hours or less, you could get that to show on a weekly basis more than if it was longer, because all these movies are fighting for a limited amount of screens. Yeah. Nowadays, that isn't really a problem because there are so many movie theater franchises and they all have like 12 to 14 screens. Yeah. So no one's really fighting for screens anymore. And so I think the reason why it seems like movies are getting longer is because blockbusters in general are getting longer, because franchises like Marvel and DC and you name it, they know these movies are going to make money regardless because they have like an IP driven model. Bring
back the intermission.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that.
Bring back the intermission.
I was going to ask you if you're pro or anti intermission.
I'm pro.
How would you envision it though? Well, like, is it like a 5 to 10, a 15 minute?
I think that in a theatrical release, it can't be less than 10 minutes.
Can't be less than 10 minutes.
No. You can't get anything done in 5 in a movie theater.
Yeah. I think 10 is the sweet spot.
You can't go to the bathroom and refill your drink in 5 minutes.
Well, if you're the guys from Heat, you can.
Oh my gosh.
They can rob an armored car in 3 minutes.
Yeah. No, actually I think it was 60 seconds.
Yeah. I don't know.
That was the trivia. I'm just saying that was the trivia. But anyway, no, I think it's got to be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom, refill your drink, get some popcorn maybe, get some snacks, sit back down with your friends, be like, this is pretty good, right? Yeah. Okay. It's pretty good. All right, let's keep going.
Here's what I would say about the intermission.
And then on whenever it goes, the Blu-ray release, just take the intermission out.
Here's what I would say. And I could be totally wrong if it became standard and I did it a number of times. Yeah. But part of me doesn't like the idea of being pulled away from the magic of cinema. I had to do it like that so I didn't sound pretentious.
Yeah, that was my one shot to get you back. Yeah. Go ahead.
But like when you think about like the magic of cinema. The spell the movie casts you under. Like, I don't like the idea of like halfway through the lights coming on, me like looking at my phone, returning to like the normalcy of life only to get back in. Like, I like the idea of just the movie casts me under its spell.
You know what?
I'm on the ride.
Let me preface my intermission with this.
Okay.
The only reason I'm even considering an intermission
Yeah.
is because there are people complaining about how long the movie is.
Yeah.
I'll sit there.
Perfect world. You don't need it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll sit there. I don't care. I'll sit there for 3 hours straight.
Yeah.
I'll watch the movie. I don't care. But if you have to do something to like appease people that it's like, oh, it's too long, my butt hurts, then, you know, throw an intermission in there.
Yeah.
Stretch your legs.
I think if
I
it's
do
like,
kind of enjoy though the camaraderie around it, where it's like you all get up and you're like, let's take a break.
oh, let's take a break.
Yeah, and it's like we're coming back, baby.
I'm not talking
but
to
we're coming
strangers.
right back. Oh, I'm not talking to strangers.
Now here's the thing: if it's a 3-hour movie, no intermission. Like, I get it for some people that's testing, but I think for most people you can make it.
How long was Titanic?
If it was 3.5 hours plus, I think everybody would need an intermission.
How long was Titanic?
I don't know. It was 2 VHS tapes.
That's what I'm saying. It had the double VHS.
I think it was like probably close to 3. Okay, time to vamp, Evan.
Man, I can't believe that they had. I can't believe that they had. They had to do a double VHS for a movie that potentially wasn't even 3 hours.
A quick Goog is telling me that Titanic was 3 hours and 14 minutes.
Boom. There you go.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I feel like I've watched the TV edit more in my life than the actual. So to me, it doesn't seem like
we
a
need to
3
pull
hour
the
movie.
VHS player out and watch the original double-decker VHS version.
Yeah. No parents that stand in front of the TV when he paints her like a French girl. I had no idea there was nudity in Titanic for the longest time.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I knew.
I watched the TV edit, just skipped right over it.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the TV edit, man. There are some movies, like whenever they come on TV, it's like, oh, I didn't realize I've literally never seen the beginning of this movie.
No, there are so many movies.
I've seen the middle of this movie 80 times.
In high school, I was like an avid TV movie watcher. Like most of the movies I saw for the first time were from a TV edit.
Yeah.
And so there were so many comedies that I had no idea were as raunchy as they were. Like the first time I saw Superbad was on TV. So then when I watched it for real, I was like, excuse me?
My pearls.
I was like, my goodness. Still a slapper of a movie, but I was shocked. Pretty much any Seth Rogen involved movie from when I was in high school, I watched on TV first and was like later shocked. I was like, oh, this is what people are talking about.
Yeah. Man, remember The Interview?
Remember how big of a deal that was?
What
and
a crazy thing to happen.
You know a question I've never been asked before? Remember The Interview?
Yeah.
Because no one talks about that movie.
Speaking of interviews, while you were talking about the magic of cinema.
Yeah. No.
The magic of cinema. I thought of another interview I'd like to do.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Nick Cage.
Oh, that would be a great interview.
Easy one.
That's
easy.
I'd book that all day, every day.
Super easy. No, but I'm not scared of a long movie, especially if it's one that I'm interested in. If you need to get a drink refill or go to the bathroom or refill your snacks or something, pack extra snacks, get an extra large drink.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, because I've heard a lot of people say this in regards to the long movie conversation.
Okay.
They'll be like, especially when The Irishman came out, because like it was a whole thing of like, oh, I'm not going to watch this movie. It's 3+ hours, whatever. People were saying, yeah, but you will sit at home and watch 8 hours of whatever, insert whatever TV show.
Yep.
So why do you think more people are inclined to sit on the couch for 8 hours straight and watch a TV show, but as soon as you say a movie is 3 hours long, they're like, nope, want nothing to do with that?
I feel like it's almost, you condition your brain to like, this is a long format. Like, you're going into like an 8-episode thing where you're like, I probably won't be able to finish this. So it's like, I'm going to take a bite.
Yeah.
Where when you go into a movie, you want to digest the whole thing at once.
Yeah.
And that's the goal, maybe. So maybe it's just like a mindset thing where it's like with a movie, I want to be able to watch it all in one sitting. Yeah. And if it's 4 hours, there's less chance I'm going to be able to do that.
Most people don't go into an 8-hour TV binge thinking I'm going to be here for 8 hours.
Exactly.
It's the
I'm going to take a bite.
Open.
I'm going to take a bite and then come back and take another bite.
Yeah.
Where it's like with movies, you think you're going to eat the whole meal at once.
Yeah.
And you go in with that mindset and then you realize it's long and you're like, oh, I'm really full. I need to take a break. But I'm really taking this eating metaphor.
Are you hungry?
To its full conclusion.
Are you a little hungry?
Yeah, no, yeah, you know. But I think that's what it is. But also, let me just say, I feel like people complaining about Martin Scorsese making a long movie need to just get out of town.
Dude, rip them a new one.
Get out of town. Because it's like, listen, Martin Scorsese is still alive. He's one of the greatest filmmakers to ever walk the earth.
Yeah.
One of the greats. He's still alive. He's still making movies. Yeah. Do you know how lucky we are? Just sit down and watch the 3 hours because you're lucky that you get it. Okay?
I tell you what, Evan, every night before I go to sleep, I take a moment and I remind myself how lucky I am that Martin Scorsese is still alive.
He's still alive. We live in a time when the Van Gogh of movie making
with both his ears
with both his ears is still making movies.
Yeah.
And we're going to complain?
No, one more. The Michael Mann of movies.
And we're going to complain at the runtime?
Yeah. Ooh. Evan's getting so heated. He has to push the mic away a little bit.
I got to work the mic a little bit.
Yeah, you got to work the mic a little bit. Yeah,
so
agreed.
I just think, you know what?
Yeah.
You didn't want to watch it anyway.
Oh, another long movie that doesn't feel long? Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
I think that one's around 3 hours.
Martin Scorsese. Well, all of Martin Scorsese's films are like over 2.
I will say one of the Martin Scorsese movies that I really feel the runtime with.
Silence.
No.
Oh.
Gangs of New York.
Oh, I
felt the runtime on that.
I don't really. I love that movie. I'm in. But I like kind of historical things like that. So
no, Silence, it was less about I felt the runtime. I just felt the emotional weight.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's so heavy. It's like you're just like
I would have felt that way if it was an hour 40.
Yeah.
Which still masterpiece of a movie, but
yeah. So all I'm saying is stop complaining.
Yeah.
Stop complaining about the amazing films that you're getting. Yeah. Just sit down and watch them, okay?
Like when I hear people complain about movies being long, I'm like, do you like movies?
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't get it because it's like, seriously, it's like, this is one of the greatest filmmakers to exist.
Yeah.
In the art form. Very few people, maybe no one who has done more for film.
I mean, as a film preservationist, that's probably true.
All around, he is a gift to film. And this guy is pumping out a movie almost every year still. Yeah. And he's in his 80s. It's like, it would be
Evan is so heated, he is...
It's like...
disrespecting that mic.
It would be like, oh, the Mona Lisa's being painted over there. Maybe I'll complain about how long it's taking.
Yeah. Hey, hey, Da Vinci, hurry up with that painting process. Buddy.
No, I mean, painting is different. But I feel as if it's the only thing that I can compare, like, Scorsese, like, I don't feel like people yet appreciate the width and depth of, like, his catalog. Yeah. And they won't appreciate it until later. And I feel like painting is the same way, where it's like when I'm thinking of another famous artist, like when Jackson Pollock started or something, they were all like, this guy's insane. Or like when Picasso started,
doing his Picasso thing.
Doing things that looked really different. They were like, this guy's crazy. But like after he died,
the
and
art historian,
like
Evan
years
Shaw.
and years and years go by, and it's like, this was groundbreaking. Like this was a new thing that people didn't know it was going to be, like an entire movement at that time. And so I just feel like Scorsese is like that great. And he's like, as far as in the category of film, he is like one of the greatest of all time. Yeah. And he's living, and we're going to complain about how long his movies are.
When he's gone, we will be begging for one more chance for like a 4-hour Scorsese movie.
Let me get the feeling just one more time.
Yeah.
Of getting excited for a Scorsese film to come out, going and sitting down in a theater for 3 hours and watching it and taking it in and enjoying it.
When The Irishman came out, I watched it at your old house in your love seat.
Yeah.
That tight, not very comfortable love seat without the footrest.
Oh, that's not what you want.
So either I had to sit up straight like a madman, or I had to sit in the love seat sideways with my legs dangling over, which is what I opted for.
Honestly,
I sat in that position for 3 hours, and guess what? I was grateful.
Yeah, you should be.
I would have watched that movie upside down because when a new Scorsese joint drops, I don't care how many hours, I don't care what position, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat my vegetables and like it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like, we've pretty much solved this.
No, real quick. To go back to the episodes versus long movie thing, I think another aspect of it is that TV episodes are structured to have that full arc within 45 minutes to an hour.
Right. Yeah.
And so like a long movie has a elongated arc. And so like if it's not structured right, you'll start to feel that, kind of like slow pacing or the weight or whatever to it. Whereas a TV show, you can go through it in 8 hours because you get that rush of a full arc with the rising and falling action within a 45-minute period. So then you get a full completed thing. You're like, wow, that tasted so good. Go back to Evan's food metaphor.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's not like they're taking the arc of one episode and stretching it for 8 hours. You're getting 8 tightly constructed story arcs.
Meals.
Yeah, meals. Yeah. They're not making you eat an appetizer for 8 hours. They're giving you everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of this while you were talking about episodes. Do you have a favorite reality TV show?
Yeah.
Okay. What is
Well, here's the thing. Like, I feel like 2 years ago.
The only reason I asked.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll just say what I was going to say because it's a setup.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think my new favorite reality TV show is Cheer.
Oh, I haven't really dove into that.
I think on the outside, it's like, this is a show about cheerleaders.
Yeah.
You know what? It is a show about cheerleaders.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually much more. And I'll leave it at that.
Wow. Okay, well, here's my answer.
I recently finished the second season.
Okay. I should probably get into that.
And it's pretty good. It's a good watch. It's a good watch.
I think my answer, though, I don't think it technically fits the common usage for reality TV.
I agree.
But if it would fit, I would say Nathan For You. I know he's like, there's a little bit of like...
It's like half reality.
There's a little bit of punking, but like the people are real people.
Yeah.
But I think there is a little bit of setup to get certain people on. But from what I've read, like they're not faking it, you know, and for the most part, if businesses catch on to what he's doing, they'll move on and do something else. But
I'm just thinking of that one episode with the
Nathan,
robot.
Yeah, Nathan is, but he himself is playing a character, like a weird version of himself.
That show,
dude. If you have not seen the series finale, the series finale is like a mini film. Mm-hmm. It's like one of the best things ever.
Okay, I haven't seen the series finale. I need to watch it.
It's you don't need to have seen the whole show to watch the series finale. It's just the last thing they made.
Right.
But it's like an hour and a half kind of like final movie they made.
Yeah.
With this recurring character from the show, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's called Finding Francis.
All right. Well, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's really good. So that would be my answer. Though, like 2 years ago, I would have said, like, if we're talking trash TV, like Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah.
I am a Bachelor fan. I mean, honestly, right now, Bachelor in Paradise is probably my favorite reality show.
Yeah, the stakes feel just
Though,
fun.
you know what's coming close?
What?
Anna and I have kind of binged through it. Temptation Island.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually really good because from what I can tell, there's not a whole lot of like producer orchestration.
Dude, I've heard that one is wild.
Because the worst part of The Bachelor is like they force these people to do all these games and competitions and
running.
There's like you can feel the producers like forcing situations. Temptation Island really is just like, we're going to separate these couples. These 4 single ladies are going to be in a house with like 20 single dudes, guys, vice versa. And they just leave it at that and let it happen naturally.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, I know there's like editing and stuff. And so like they're forcing things that way, but like they're not playing games. They're not doing dumb competitions. They're
what? I'm not the first one to say this, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. What are you going to say?
But in the Bachelorette franchise, whenever they show up for a date, or whenever they show up for anything, why are they so far away from each other? They're so far from each other all the time.
That's so true. It's like a...
Why? Is it one producer that's 80 and he's like, he's gotta walk. You gotta make him walk.
We need 20 seconds of walking footage.
Like, is it like, well, we can't get rid of this guy. He's an OG. We can't get rid of him. Or is it like, why doesn't the car just drive right up?
Yeah.
If they're usually like on a road. Just car drives up, they get out, they welcome each other,
Evan,
they get on with the date.
Evan, there's a simple answer to this.
Go ahead. The hug.
The what?
Run? The hug? The run?
No,
what is it?
It's a TV show where they're showing off attractive people, so they want the gaze of the camera to linger on the attractive female or male, predominantly the female.
Sure.
But, like I think they just want to get those shots.
Sure.
How did we get on reality TV?
I just asked you what your favorite one was because I wanted to talk about Cheer.
You just wanted to talk about Cheer?
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. No, it's okay. No, don't apologize.
You know what? You're right. I won't.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
We're going to go where the Lord takes us.
Exactly. Wherever the wind blows us, where the Spirit moves.
Okay, yeah. But I think to wrap up our conversation on long movies, a runtime in and of itself is not good or bad, right? Yeah. I think we both can agree on that. It's about the structure. So when it comes to like someone like Matt Reeves, when I hear that Matt Reeves is making a Batman movie and it's going to be close to 3 hours,
right?
I go into that a little bit more trusting because the dude has made some great movies. He's, most recently the 2 Apes movies I thought were great. It's like, this is a veteran guy. He knows what he's doing. He wouldn't just accidentally make a 3-hour movie and be like, I don't know how to cut this down,
Yeah.
But if it's like a younger director, someone who maybe has like a spotty history with quality, 3 hours, I'm going to be like, I don't know if I can trust the editing here.
Sure.
But so I think when it comes to the Batman, it's just like I know studios in general, like these big Marvel, DC lean towards like, if we can we make it like under 2.5 hours? And so usually they won't allow it to go over unless one, they know this thing's going to make money no matter what, which might be the case in this situation, or it's like a big culminating movie like Avengers Endgame where it's like there's no way not to make it close to 3 hours. So
no, I agree with all that. And I mean, my bottom line is get over it. Especially if it's Scorsese. Whenever you mention The Irishman, that really got me going.
Evan is heated when he grabs the mic and you can hear his wedding ring like ding on the mic, like ding.
Yeah. So, stop complaining about the length of Scorsese films. Maybe just films in general.
Oh, real quick. So
just enjoy what you get.
I did a little bit of research going in about, I was curious to see if there's any evidence that movies have gotten longer over the years.
Right.
And from the best of what I can tell, there actually isn't any hard evidence that movies have gotten longer. Though, if you're on Twitter, like it seems like the general consensus is that movies are getting longer.
Yeah.
But the evidence, from the best I could tell, there's no evidence in that for the most part, the last like 20 years, the average is about the same.
Right.
But I think the reason it feels that way is because nowadays the only movies that are getting big play in movie theaters are big superhero blockbusters. And I think those in general are getting longer.
Yeah.
But movies in general aren't. And the only hard jump between average runtime was around the 30s and 40s, because before the 30s and 40s, movies were like an hour long, like they were real short. And then like if you look at the data, it's like the only really big jump is like 30s and 40s. There was a little bit of a spike around this, like it went up a little bit around the 60s, which kind of makes sense because like late 50s, 60s, that's when you get like the epic westerns, and you know, there was like a lot of epic movies back then, like the you know, I'm blanking, but you know
I'm gonna let you hang out here to dry a little bit. Can you think of one?
What was that? Lawrence of Arabia? Is that a 60s? Is that the 60s?
Lawrence of Arabia, one of those.
The 60s? Yeah. But
Color, I guess, maybe started around that time.
But really, when you look at it, it's like, but again, I would say, I think if you're comparing like blockbuster action movies, I think those probably have gotten longer, because if I think back to the early 2000s, 90s, most of the popular action movies were like a tight 2 hours or less, you know?
Usually an hour and a half, hour 45,
And so I think the general trend in action movies and blockbusters have gotten longer, with like Marvel making more movies with more characters, and DC likewise.
So many characters.
Too
much to keep up with.
Like even the latest Spider-Man was like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but you're pro long movie if it's right.
Yes,
I agree.
I am. I'm a big. Nothing annoys me more than whenever I hear about a studio cutting a movie down.
Yeah.
And not like including the director, the filmmaker in it. I get super annoyed. That's what happened with Kingdom of Heaven. Yeah.
Which I just ordered the director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven.
And the director's cut is makes much more sense.
Yeah.
And that's an awesome medieval epic.
Okay, well, how about that? I just hit the mic with my chest like an unprofessional.
Wow.
But off the top of your head, what are some movies that you believe are made better with a longer cut?
Well, definitely Kingdom of Heaven.
Kingdom of Heaven.
I would say the Snyder Cut is a big...
Oh, dude.
It's a big one.
Well, that is less just because it's longer and more just like a completely different movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the longer cut made it a completely different movie.
I will say, though, I did, like you, enjoy the Snyder Cut. I would not have been able to sit in a movie theater for 4+ hours.
Right. Is that how long it was?
It was like 4 hours, wasn't it? It was close to 4 hours, I think.
Was it? I don't know. I think it was still within the 3 hour.
Let me Google it.
Oh my gosh. Vamping.
Oh, you sounded so sweaty.
No,
4 hours, 2 minutes.
Okay. Vamping. Yeah, wow. So it was 4 hours.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't even affected by it. I didn't even remember how long it was, because I was just like,
yeah,
I'm watching it. I like movies. Why am I going to complain about how long it is?
That's
know what
true.
I mean? Anyway, other movies that were improved. I've heard that, I was mentioning to you that Alexander, Oliver Stone's medieval epic, was improved with the director's extended ultimate cut. I think Batman versus Superman, the ultimate cut, was better.
That helps.
That helped a lot. It's like mostly superhero movies.
Yeah.
I would love to see David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad.
I really like the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2.
Just glazed over that, huh?
What? I was focused on myself.
I would like to see the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad.
Oh.
Which will never happen.
You know, he's talked about it on Twitter, and he's made it seem like it's a vastly different movie.
He's made it seem like oddly in the post, he made it seem like he's killed some people in the past.
Oh, yeah, that was a weird Twitter post.
It's a very intense Twitter post.
All the stuff he's been through. Yeah, there was an ominous reference to like his time on a submarine.
A submarine, yeah.
Life or death.
I don't know.
Yeah, it sounded not fun.
It sounded intense.
But no hate to David Ayer.
No hate at all.
Yeah.
What else was improved by a longer cut?
Trying to think off the top of my head.
The big ones I can think of are the Snyder cut recently and Kingdom of Heaven.
Watchmen.
Oh, yeah.
Watchmen, that was a good one.
Watchmen.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard the director's cut of Alien 3 is a lot better.
Interesting.
Like I think they call it like an assembly cut or something, but
They always come up with a different word, don't they?
yeah. I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with length, but I definitely prefer the ultimate cut of Blade Runner, like the final cut of Blade Runner,
right.
the original. I prefer that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. But
yeah.
I don't know, if you're going to ask somebody to make a film, it's like trust them to make the film. And
yeah,
you know, I 100% can't think of a movie that was improved by the studio taking control off the top of my head.
Well, I think there's a difference between a studio saying, "Hey, we really need you to shave 15 to 20 minutes off," and versus, "Hey, can you not only cut 30 minutes, but can you refilm completely different stuff?"
Yeah.
And like, we're going to bring in a different writer to write. Like, that's where I'm like, just, if you hired this person, see it through.
Yeah.
Like, not to get into it, but like the whole Solo, it was originally going to be Phil Lord, Chris Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And though I personally think the cut we got is actually pretty decent, like I actually like Solo.
Yeah.
But part of me would just love to be in the universe where Disney just let them go through with their vision.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's like, how do you not prepare in advance, talk to this person, and get a sense of the type of movie they're going to make?
Yeah.
Before you would like fire them,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
The Snyder Cut was definitely like a, not counting the really ugly fandom part of it, but just the idea that a filmmaker was able to finish his vision the way he wanted. Like, that was a good win.
Yeah. It was special. It was unique. That's rare.
Yeah.
That you get that. Okay. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We don't have to vamp this episode any longer than it needs to be. Okay, well, that's been the latest episode of Professional Appreciators. If you're listening on podcasts, you can find the YouTube clip at Why It's Great. If you're watching on YouTube, you can listen to the full episode on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, in the links below. Check us out. Give us a follow.
Rate us. Rate and review.
Yeah, I don't think we have any iTunes ratings.
Yeah, so if you can rate and review.
If you can drop us a 5-star rating,
that'd be fun.
On iTunes, that'd be great.
Yeah. Leave some spicy comments.
Yeah. Someone actually sent me an email. I have no idea who it is.
Oh, yeah?
They're affiliated with some like podcast tracking website, and they're like, we have the rankings for your podcast on iTunes. And I was like, there's no way enough people have listened to this podcast to be ranked. So I was like, I'm not clicking on this link. This seems
sketchy.
Bogus. But yeah, so if you're watching, leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about long movies. Do you like long movies? Do you wish they were shorter than 2 hours across the board? Are you excited for the Batman being almost 3 hours? Engage with us in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Assault those comments.
Yeah.
Hit up those comments.
Really maim the comments.
Yeah.
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 We want to interact. Andrew loves interacting.
Yes, we must interact.
Actually, you should cut that out. You don't want to say that.
We should. No. Yeah. I don't want that. I don't want that used against me.
Cut it out.
Yeah, just cut it.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway.
Like, we're looking over at the invisible producer over there.
Yeah. He's like,
cut that out. Cut that out.
He's doing this and he's doing this.
Right. Take a note. Cut that out.
Yeah. We need to just hire someone to pretend to be a producer. Just keep us on track.
Just sit there and be like,
hold up signs.
Can you please hurry up?
Just like yawn.
We have no one to tell us to stop talking.
Yeah. What if he just held up like really aggressive signs like, I'm going to choke you? And we're just like, oh.
Then we would never end the podcast because he's not going to kill us on camera.
Like right now.
Yeah.
I'm imagining a really mean, creepy producer, and so it's making me want to wrap it up right now. All right. See you later, guys.
Bye.